what is the start of a triple header. If you love Kirby, you're gonna get lots of Kirby tonight on Speed Gaming 4. Because after this, at 9 p.m. Eastern, we have MK and Mapler 90210. And then after that, at 10 Eastern, we have Thomas Yim 99 versus Belthic Gaming. So, like I said, we're gonna get all the Kirby you can stand. Which, of course, is never enough if you're watching this, but, you know, I have to hedge my bets a little bit here. So, first mini-boss of the game is Poppy Brothers, and both of them get the good pattern. No dance from Poppy this time, which takes an extra 4 or 5 seconds. Both of them taking slightly different routes to get through this row of enemies. Darksol's a little faster and cleaner, but Chooch is only a second behind. We now come to the final room before Wispy, the first boss of the game. Darksol had a little trouble getting over the ledge there, so Chooch catches up a little bit. So Wispy, again, will do a different amount of patterns, and we got 2 different patterns. Darksol got some puffs of air. Chooch got the apples right away, so Chooch is taking a small lead. Now, puffs of air for both players. And, ooh, a longer set of puffs for Darksol, so he's going to be a few seconds behind. Chooch is finished with Wispy and gets a 141 exit out of World 1. Darksol is about 5 seconds behind. We come to level 2, Castle Low. Some fairly precise platforming early, and as we get to the second mini-boss, which is just Low, and it remains to be seen if they're going to go for potentially faster but very risky play, where they can get a power-up to basically do a quick kill on the boss. And if it works, it does save a couple of seconds overall. If it fails, it's a bit of a time sink. Darksol is going for it. Chooch decided not to. So we'll see how this plays out here. So good pattern early for Chooch. Trying to get a double, didn't quite get it on La, I think it was. So each enemy takes 3 hits, and not a great pattern for Darksol, but he's essentially caught up. He's only about a couple of 2 hits behind. You should get that on the cycle here. Ooh, he just missed. But a couple of frames short there. Finishes the job. Chooch does a nice job with the more traditional route and is out at 307. So Chooch playing pretty solidly so far here in game 1 of this 3-game set. Darksol's about 10 seconds behind right now, but we have a lot of game left to be played, and the real RNG heaviness hasn't even happened yet. So this opening section here of Float Islands can be kind of tricky because there's a lot of precise movements you have to do, and there's a lot of lag reduction our runner's going to be trying to do as well to keep things moving. Darksol is a little cleaner overall than Chooch, but still maintaining a solid lead as we come to the pirate ship here at the end of level 3. And both players, I believe, are going to try and avoid the power. Oh, no, Chooch is not avoiding the power-up. Deliberately goes into it, and it's fine. It's just going to slow him down a little bit. Darksol takes a damage boost to get past the cannon. So we're on our way to Cabula, the third boss. Cabula, while Cabula has some RNG variants, it is not nearly to such an extreme degree as the other bosses. So this should be pretty straightforward. Just get close and shoot. That's really all it comes down to. And the cannon balls fired do have some variants. You're kind of wanting to avoid the triples like that. Chooch a little slow getting the warp star. So it's going to be just under, we have about 459 and change for Chooch. Dark Soul is 504, so about we're back to 5 seconds. Come to Bubbly Clouds, and Chooch having a little trouble out of the box here with his platforming, and Dark Soul not quite as much, and closing in a bit here on opponent. We come now to the second room, which, again, more tricky platforming, and probably going to be a damage boost or two here, pending. So far, yeah, there's a damage boost from Chooch. He's going to probably take, he's going to avoid the second one he could have taken, and is going to just float over the top there, but Dark Soul taking a slightly more aggressive approach, but also taking no damage, which is pretty impressive. And now they are basically in sync as we come to get ready for Cracko Jr., a mini-boss with 0 variation. And Dark Soul, again, being a little more familiar with the platforming, is able to take a very slight lead over Chooch. But again, Cracko Jr. has no variance. It's the same pattern 3 straight times. We're done. So, about a half a cycle ahead right now, I'd say. Maybe even less than that. Dark Soul's finished first, Chooch right behind him. We come now to the second half of Bubbly Clouds, and both of them get the background play. So they're grabbing the leaf at the same time as they hit the water, which allows them to go invisible into the background, saves a little time, and it looks pretty cool. So this is very close, but Cracko can and will ruin your life. So will we get the good Cracko or the bad Cracko for these two players? Cracko essentially has 3 true outcomes. He'll spit out a Waddle Dee, shoot his little beams there, or do a dive bomb. So, Dark Soul, both players getting a Waddle Dee, or quick Waddle Dee. There's 2 for Dark Soul. There's a 3rd for Dark Soul, so he's getting decent RNG right now. There comes Chooch. He gets 3. There's 4 for Dark Souls. So you do not want to miss these because you could be waiting a while for the next one. So looking really close. Dark Soul is going to be done first. But Chooch gets a slightly better end result. Got the dive bomb from Cracko, and that's an 8-10 finish and an 8. A slight hiccup there for Chooch, but he's only about 5 seconds behind. So now we come to the final world of Kirby's Dreamland, which is essentially repeating everything we've already seen. We gotta fight all 4 bosses again, and Lolo and La 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 is usually the first one to go. I think Dark Soul was actually entertaining the thought of taking a damage boost there, did not go through with it. Getting really good patterns here, and wow, that's really good RNG for Dark Soul. Chooch getting decent luck himself, but took 4 hits along the way, and that's unfortunate. Dark Soul not going for the damage boost there. Now we got a bit of a route divergence. Chooch is actually going to do Wispy second. Cracko is second for Dark Souls, so we're not going to have a really accurate picture for a little while on who's leading. But we can take some clues based on their RNG. Dark Soul getting okay so far. Chooch got a bad pattern from Wispy. Got 2 puffs before the apple started coming, and here comes more puffs of air. Wow. Chooch probably got some really awful Wispy luck. Dark Soul's almost finished with Cracko, but he's getting some dive bombs here. And some beams. So... and I think Chooch was actually hoping to get it, and Chooch is going for an intentional death there. So he's going to go after Cabula with a fresh set of energy bar. Now they're actually in sync at this point, but Darksol is in the lead, I'd say, overall. Wispy does not take nearly as long as Cracko does. Close, though. I mean, DDD still awaits, and Lord knows DDD has sunk a few pristine runs in this tournament as it is. So, Chooch has finished off Cabula. Darksol kind of playing a little defensively here. Chooch is not going to go for the damage boost. So we're down to the last bosses for each. Chooch underway with Cracko. Darksol gonna hopefully get better luck than Chooch did against Wispy, because that's about as bad as I've seen in a while. Good start for both players. Chooch getting some good RNG here from Cracko. Darksol not getting a lot of help from Wispy. Gets the final 3 apples, so this should be pretty quick. Oh, Chooch is getting some horrific luck here in Cracko too. Now, as I say, he gets a dive bomb and beam, so here we go. Cracko, we get DDD, so good start for Darksol with a couple of hammers and a jump, and there's another jump, so wow. Oh, Darksol gets double damage on DDD. He's down. I'm down to 3 health already, so Darksol just 2 hits away now, and be pretty close. Tried to go for the double again, didn't get it. He's gonna have to be careful. He's down to 1 health. Chooch is being fairly safe here, but Darksol finishes the job and scores with an official SRL time of 12:07. So GG's to Darksol88. Chooch not getting a lot of help here from DDD. There's a couple of jumps there. That's good. Getting down to 5. There's a hammer. So now, like, now that he's officially lost, now DDD's being nice to him. Go figure, right? He's down to 3. Loves you. Okay, there's 1 more after this. Bring it on home. The jump. And down he goes. So Chooch finishes with an official SRL time of 13:21. It was really closer to 13:03. So GG's to our runners. We're gonna probably get this going in the next few minutes. So hang on for a minute, and we will get game 2 of this best of 3 going in the next few minutes. All right, we are back, and we are just about ready for Game 2 of this best-of-3 series. Darksol88 leads 1-0 in this losers round 4 match. The winner again will face Reeler next week. Both players put on a good show. Chooch had a little trouble in World 5 and unfortunate RNG with Wispy and with DDD and took an unfortunate death. Intentional, but still unfortunate. Cabula stage in World 5, so hopefully he will bounce back and perform even better so we can get a third game in the opening match of this triple header we have tonight on Speed Gaming 4 for the Kirby's DreamLand tournament. So, giving the runners the go-ahead, and we should be getting started in the next minute or so. Overall, both players did quite well in Game 1. Darksol88 was using some more aggressive strats that paid off. Chooch was played a little safer, but had some very good play, particularly early on in the first couple of stages, and was rewarded with some good RNG. So our runners are underway here in Game 2 of this best-of-3 set, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of RNG they get in Game 2 compared to Game 1. Both of them got good Poppy Brothers patterns, for example, in Game 1. Let's see if their fortune will continue here in Game 2. So, Chooch underway. Darksol just also starting. So we got a dance for Chooch. Darksol gets 3 straight bombs. He powers through, so he'll have a 2 or 3 second advantage right out of the box here in Game 2. And as Thomas points out in chat, it is KDL night. Love Kirby's DreamLand, or you just love Kirby, you're in for a treat tonight. We've got 6 very good runners putting on a show tonight, starting with these two. Match 1 was very entertaining, so we can only hope for even more entertainment in Match 2. Wispy underway for Darksol, gets a good pattern with the 3 apples right off the bat. There's some apples for Chooch, little couple of puffs from Wispy before the second cycle of apples. Chooch also getting the air and then the apples. So Darksol is finished first. Nicely done. Finishes at 140. Chooch is going to be about 5 or 6 seconds behind. Yeah, 146 and change. We're underway here in level 2. Ooh, Darksol jumping the gun a little bit. Loses a few frames there, trying to get through the door. So there's a 1-room difference right now between the runners. We get ready for the mini-boss, low. Darksol, no problems. Giving it back to the mini-boss. He's finished first at about 219. Chooch, a few seconds behind. Darksol going for the curry clip, the curry skip. This is high risk, high reward. It mostly paid off for him in Game 1. He got rid of, I think it was low in 3 shots before the curry ran out. Okay, and okay, got 4 out of 6 hits. Nicely done. This is a pretty quick fight for Darksol. Chooch having a little trouble. He's not getting as he had really good patterns in Game 1. Game 2, not quite as generous. Darksol finished off low at 307. So out of Float Islands. Opening section here is going to have a lot of technical movement and maybe even a damage. There's one from Dark Soul. A little bit of forward momentum. There's a 9-second difference between their world completions. 307 for Dark Soul, 316 for Chooch. So it actually almost mirrors of reverses of what they had in game 1. Chooch was out at 307, Dark Soul was 317. So that's kind of interesting. But again, both players have done quite well so far. There's about a one-room difference right now between the two players. Dark Soul avoiding the curry. Chooch win for it in game 1. I think he will again in game 2. While it is a little slower, it is also a nice offensive insurance to keep the enemies at bay. So, use at your own peril, I suppose. Chooch about to take, Dark Soul about to take on Cabula, boss number 3. Got 5 health, so you can afford to be pretty aggressive against the boss here. Take a few damage boosts, although he's got to be a little careful. He's getting a lot of triples from Cabula, but finishes the job. Be out at about 455, 456. Chooch getting run of shots here and finishes off at maybe about 505, I'd say. 455 for Dark Soul. Chooch underway here in Bubbly Clouds. This is actually where things started to kind of diverge a bit. Chooch wasn't quite as precise in his World 4 strats as Dark Soul, and it cost him lead. He had a very slender lead at that point. Kind of swung on a dime there. Dark Soul. So, Chooch taking a lot of damage. He's got to be careful. Once he gets to Cracko Jr., he should be fine. But this next third room in Bubbly Clouds can be treacherous if you're not careful. And Funky Cat on in chat makes a good point. If you haven't followed these runners yet, please give them a follow. Hours of entertainment right here. Well, not really hours, but more like, I don't know, 45 minutes or so. But remember, this is the first of a triple header. So no problems with Cracko Jr. Dark Soul got about a 10 to 15 second advantage, I'd say, at this point. Going to the Curry Blitz. So, as we've often seen, Cracko giveth and Cracko taketh away. Cracko was actually pretty nice to both runners in game 1, all things considered. See if that pattern can repeat here in game 2. So far, fairly predictable start for Dark Soul's Cracko fight. Got a couple of fired back at him. There's a third. That's a nice pickup. Chooch getting his first. There's a fourth for Dark Souls. So nice run, Chooch there. Dark Souls just getting all the Cracko luck right now. But Chooch is not doing too badly himself. And he is only 2 hits away from finishing the job here. Dark Soul's out at 759, so sub 8 going into, Chooch trying to get him at the center of the arena. Didn't quite get it, but still very nicely done. So 8:15 for Chooch, so 16 seconds between our runners as we head into World 5 for both of them. Dark Soul underway with Lolo and La La La. Not getting great patterns right now. He can't get any doubles off these two. Still not getting anything. He's just gonna take out La 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 right now. Finish the job. Chooch got a double. Nicely done. Helps him keep pace. So Dark Soul going. He's not going for the damage boost. He wants to preserve his health, which is fair. And because you never know what's going to happen with Cabula, and you never know what's going to happen. With DDD, especially if you want to be aggressive and go for the doubles. So, both players underway with different bosses. Chooch is underway with Wispy. Dark Soul having trouble here, a little trouble here with Cracko. So there goes Wispy. That's 2 down, 2 to go for Chooch. Dark Soul just about finished with Cracko. There it is. That's 2 down for Dark Soul taking his time. As Chooch gets ready to take on his third boss, Cabula. It'll also be the third for Dark Soul by a different route. Again, Cracko will be Chooch's final boss, and Wispy will be the final one for Dark Soul. So, Dark Soul taking a couple of quick hits there against Cabula before finishing the job. Chooch underway with Cracko. Dark Soul's got a short run through Wispy's arena first. So, first hit for Chooch. Dark Soul not getting a lot of help from Wispy out of the box here. Yeah, it's not as bad as his game 1 luck. There's 6 apples in a row. Game 1, he had the worst luck ever with Wispy. Double puffs. Here we go. DDD underway for Dark Soul. So far, not much help from the King. There's a hammer. He had great luck in game 1. Didn't hit there. So now we got both players in the... Oh, we tried to go for the double, didn't get it. Now he's down to 1 health, so he's got to play this safe. And Chooch's got to stay out of the corners. Believe me, I know. Still 5 hits or so ahead. So there it goes. Dark Soul finishes. So GG to Dark Soul. Yes. So, GG's, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I had a little admin thing to take care of. So we're going to try and get our runners in for an interview. See if they're interested in talking about tonight's match. And right on cue, we welcome chooch236 to the chat. GG.
Hello.
Well, congrats on a fine performance in the tournament. You played pretty well in both matches. It was just a lot of little RNG things and little trouble, I think, in World 4, but overall very solid.
Yeah, World 4 is kind of my weakest. But yeah, that's a me problem, honestly, not RNG problem. But
right. But no, I thought it was fine. And he was a little more aggressive in spots, and that's the way it goes. And we welcome our winner tonight, Darksol88. GG.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, good job, Darksol.
Yeah, other than the part where the SRL room went weird and decided it didn't want to send the done prompt.
Well, we've all been there, but nonetheless, that notwithstanding, two I think it was almost identical times, if I reading the timer correctly.
I want to say it was pretty close for both of them, yeah. At least from what I remember.
First one, not so much, because DDD really got me there, but
yeah,
second one more so.
Yeah, 12:26 by my timer, and then I think it was twin 12:07s, I believe, for you, Dark Soul.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
It was a terrific time.
I'm actually surprised it ended up being that similar.
Well, I think just a slightly better start, and then just some pretty solid RNG the whole way through. I think Cracko might have been maybe a little nicer in game 1 overall, but it's largely variable. And I know Lolo wasn't give you anything in game 2 in the second match.
No, that one did not want to go in my favor, and I think the curry kill went completely right.
Right. Well, yeah, the curry kill was kind of a mixed bag in games 1 and 2. I got 4. I think you got 4 out of 6 both times, if I remember right.
I want to say at least that, yeah, or at least 3.
Yeah, the second one was 4. The first one I think was 3, but
yeah, I barely missed a double hit, so it probably didn't hurt you at all. I missed a double hit in game 2.
Yeah, game 1, I know you had all the luck, Chooch, with Lolo. You were really just barreling through it.
Yeah. But I mean, I just don't think I use the best strats. I mean, I play with old school style, like 2015. I really haven't bothered keeping up with this because college is hard. But yeah, very good job to Dark Soul.
I don't think I have to say the same to you, although I haven't actually seen your run yet. I will probably see that before long.
You're gonna see a couple minor mistakes. I only made one major mistake, and that was playing this RNG game.
Well,
but
I think that's all of us, though.
Yeah, it's all of us. It's no big deal.
The road to madness is paved in trying to learn and try and enjoy such an RNG heavy game as this.
Yeah. Oh well, especially with the recent discoveries by Speedman and the seed manipulation and all that really cool stuff. Look out for that later on in the tournament.
Absolutely. So
our next time Speedman's race occurs, which will be pretty soon, I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So, well, congratulations to both of you, and good luck to you, Dark Soul, in your next round match with Reeler.
Here's hoping.
Yep.
That's all we can do. So everybody, get ready for more Kirby's Dreamland at 9 o'clock in just under 25 minutes. MK Cocoon will take on Mapler 90210 with
or Marsh, if you want to call him that.
Yeah, with Chooch actually going on the mic. So
yes, and Rocks underscore in the chat.
And Rocks, yes. There's Rocks. So if you enjoyed this first set of matches, you got plenty more coming your way very soon. So thanks all for watching, and GG's once again to our two fine competitors, and good luck to Darksol, and we'll see you all in the next 20 minutes. So have a good.
I will see you guys in the next 20 minutes as well.
All right.
You won't see me, but I'll probably be watching them. So.
Right. And I'm Pro A007. Thanks all for watching, and have a good night.
Yes, everyone else who's either leaving before this, or especially you, Darksol, good night. Thank you very much for the race.
Yeah, same to you.
All right. Good night, everybody.